Hi, I'm attorney Clay Crates at Arthur Law Firm here in Defiance, Ohio. At Arthur Law Firm, we've been in business for over 50 years, and one of our practice areas is domestic relations, which includes divorces and dissolutions. And when dealing with a divorce case, one of the questions that we get often is, when am I eligible for spousal support, or am I eligible for spousal support? And that's the topic I want to address today on Ask Arthur. So when looking at spousal support, it used to be called alimony, and what is the purpose of spousal support? Well, Ohio courts have said that the purpose of spousal support is to provide financially for an ex-spouse. The purpose is not to punish a spouse. So oftentimes we'll get questions that, someone will ask, well, my current spouse, they cheated on me, or they were financially irresponsible during the marriage. Do I get more spousal support because of these things that they've done? And the short answer to that is no. And nowhere in the calculation for spousal support does a person's behavior really come into play in that way. And spousal support is not designed at all to be a punishment. It's designed to help out an ex-spouse financially as they move on to the next area and chapter of their life. So when looking at spousal support, when are you eligible? Well, technically, it doesn't matter if you've been married 1 day, 1 year, or 10 years. You're eligible for spousal support as long as you've been married and a divorce has been filed. You are eligible at that point. But what a court is going to look at when determining a spousal support award is the disparity of incomes between the parties and the length of the marriage are going to be the two main factors that a court is going to look at. So as a general rule, the greater the disparity of income between the parties and the longer the marriage, the more spousal support a court is going to award for a longer period of time. So for example, if there's a big disparity of income between the parties, but it's a relatively short-term marriage, say 1 or 2 years, then in that case, even though there is a big disparity of income, the court is likely not going to award much, if any, spousal support. The same reasoning applies to a long-term marriage. If there's a marriage that's been lasting for, let's say, 20 or 30 years, but the incomes of the parties are relatively close, and let's say, within, $5,000 to $10,000 in annual gross income, they're within one another. So if one spouse is making, say, $70,000 a year and the other spouse is making $62,000 a year, because their incomes are so relatively close to one another, the court is likely not going to award much, if any, spousal support, even though that is a long-term marriage. So the main factors are the disparity of income and the length of the marriage. And it's also important to note that the spousal support calculation is done separately from child support. So it's not uncommon and is frankly very common to see situations where one party is paying both child support and spousal support. They are calculations that are done independently of one another. So it's important when looking at the finances to understand how those calculations are done. And there's a lot of other factors and things that come into looking at a spousal support amount and what that's going to be. And it's very important that you have an experienced attorney being able to evaluate your case. And one thing we've done here at Arthur Law Firm, since we've been around for so long, is that we've compiled a database of what other courts in our area and what judges and courts have done as far as spousal support awards. And so we have a really good idea of what courts are likely to do in the future. And given that information through all of these cases that we've done, we can give pretty accurate advice to people about what they're likely to be paying or what they're likely to be receiving in spousal support. So I hope that this video helps you kind of understand spousal support a little bit better. And if you like hearing about these legal topics, please subscribe and be a part of our Ask Arthur Facebook group. And also, if you have any ideas for any future Ask Arthur topics, please comment below with any ideas that you have. Once again, I am Clay Crates from Arthur Law Firm, where we are passionate, professional, and personal. Thank you.